let's just take a look at the arrangement. You can see this nobedan. This is to scale, I believe. I would say not to scale, right? Oh, sorry. So basically, 3 feet wide, probably 5-6 feet long. It's this table is 5 foot and 2.5 feet wide or something, I believe. So a little bigger and longer. That's the size. Then stepping stone taking off from that. Then reach out to the tsukubai arrangement. So because of the type of basin we have, and most likely I expect all of you have a sort of nakabachi in basin sit in the middle kind of type, right? So based on what you just learned, try to draw can I please pay attention, this rectangular blank. This is where if you can draw your nobedan as if you are building it, then connect from here to the basin. You need a few stepping stones to do that. So instructor will help you to just kind of show how the joint can nicely. You can use a pencil or Sharpie or whatever. And of course you don't get the exact shape and size of what you like, but it's important to have a good vision. What kind of stone. You can use a relatively even size, or you can use big ones at the corner and small one in between. That's there's such a thing. And then once you draw, then take a good look try to look at the joint only, not the stone. Then sometimes you see different picture when you focus your eyes to the joint.
This is okay that I haven't mentioned, because you said there might be another one right here.
Mm-hmm. Usually, when you are moving this way, if you have a rectangular shape, right? Rectangular, if you place a rectangular perpendicular to your movement, that's a proper way and looks stable as opposed to this way.
Okay,
right. So rectangular piece is, perpendicular to your movement.
Okay.
So this, instead of long this way, probably more like this. Or since you are making the transition here, this might be going some little wider.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
It's a little more stable. Right. Right. In a sense, those has to be parallel as opposed to that. Even though can I draw it in the past, right? So this is one way to match, right? You can see how it's but even this one, even the short lengths, you can still use that. Doesn't need to be the longest edge, but the shorter one would do, right?
So I don't know. This one's got
right.
like a
so
very
once you avoid is this kind of situation, right? So in some way, the straight edge is ideal if you can find the one, right? So that resonates and that makes a connection easy, right?
Because you're basically showing relationship between the stones.
Right.
Whenever you have that edge. So like here, not as successful.
Right. This one is pointing at that. Right.
But if we just
something like that.
over
Right.
a little
Right.
bit,
Exactly. Right.
Like, so this part here is
Right.
fine.
Right.
Okay. And maybe just alter these a little so that it'd be nice if you just add on stone to
right. If you can do that.
Play-Doh style.
Only thing you can do is just the chip. You cannot
away,
add. Right.
And I mean, if this one had this little nice nook, I could find
exactly.
one that
That's
into
yeah.
it.
Right.
And
Right. We call heads and butt. That's how you use the terms, right? On the stone, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Also, when you have a long, like a 15, 20 of them laying in this fashion, you're going this way, right?
I was wondering about the whole right-left starting on the right. You usually tend to start on the right foot. I mean, I noticed a lot of Japanese stuff is very right-oriented.
Right. So that's the thing.
Is that something you want to think about when you're placing?
Right, but because also it depends on the direction you are moving, right? So in other words, this direction may be right, then the return you might miss that. So that's why there's an extra stone next to it.
Yeah.
So just in case if you start the wrong foot, then you can step off to skip. Otherwise, instead of skipping this, right? But you can do that, right? So that's why when you see the multiple stone at the machiai, you can see a whole bunch of stone. Part of the reason of that. So that means it doesn't embarrass the guest. That's the heart behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have an extra stone. Someone start with the wrong foot, still you can manage, right, without kind of panicking.
Doing a shuffle.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Tipping off the edge.
Right. Okay.
And then I felt like that was slightly awkward. It was really, I placed these and then I was like, oh yeah, how do I want to get over there? And then I was like, well, I probably need to starting off in the middle doesn't make sense to go to path to here, right? Because then why did you build all this if this was your path, right?
Or you can take off from here.
So I could take off from not a main, not a large piece.
Right, it doesn't need to be. But proportionally, if you go there, move instead of all the way to the end, but kind of somewhere.
Unless that's something that you wanted to direct them to the view
exactly.
And there was a plant, right? Like if this was a hedge or something, then you could go that way.
Right.
But this would have a different exit.
If there's again, everything is possible, but with a reason. If this is the case, you want to make this one, one of the things the stone can do. One of the stone magic. You set the stone right here.
Oh, you can take a corner off.
Then.
Yeah.
So stone is a magic when you want to make a transition. For instance, you have a nobedan.
I would keep this one if I put that one there?
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
So those two. Okay.
See, it sort of naturally, gently force you.
Yeah.
Right?
And this would be still
has
taller.
A void, yes.
Taller. Okay,
right. That makes sense.
So you can insert a taller one into a nobedan.
Right. Yeah.
But you wouldn't be 18 inches. It'd be
they have to
taller
be
than
short.
You want to step on.
Right.
But
right. Okay. Exactly. But my point is, the stone does magic with that, and stone make a beautiful transition, a little higher. Yes, exactly.
Those are the stepping stones, and this one would just be slightly taller, but
not. Exactly. Right. So another thing is when you have a wide, here's a patio, right? Pavement, right? Then you want narrow this one, narrower, right? That's where the stone does magic.
Yeah, I know. I like doing that.
Right? It's in a very natural way. Otherwise, what's happened is you create one positive corner and one negative corner. Right? But the one stone will kill the both. Right? There's actually the traditional in Japan, there's a concept, kill the corner. So instead of you showing the corner, but basically you soften the corner. Right? So that's the...
Soften the corner is very different from
kill the corner. Right? But basically... So stone allows you the material transition. Stone allows you the alignment transition. Right. Yeah.
And this would be maybe, if this is already 2 inches above.
You can go up to a 10-inch or probably,
okay.
Sure.
10-inch mat.
Right.
Okay.
It's obvious enough, so you avoid, right?
That's great.
Yeah, this is another. Yeah, you can reinforce this way, just emphasizing the easy access. And this type of things, just that you can use more like a straight edge, right, angular, right. Then you can have extra one. Because sometimes going one way is easy, sometimes coming back the same way, it's a wrong step, right? Then if you have a extra ones, that allows either starting point, right?
So you'd leave bigger joints?
Yeah, in this case, because you are kind of stepping off of that. That means you are skipping this. You are maybe coming like that. Right,
Still
right.
still two.
4 corner, not the equal size. Because of this corner, I try avoid the big one, this one. So just for the sake of distinguishing. By the way, when you're hatching, you look the destination, not the starting point. So when I'm hatching to it, so that's the end I'm looking, right? We have a very good precision of starting point, always, right? So for instance, square, round, right? When you hatch, I'm looking this side. I'm not looking that side. Right. Stopping is more important than starting. But anyway. So you want to try to insert big one here. I get the little one. This one is not so. But usually I draw up the edge first.
Do you use those same principles when you're building that path then? You start with those 4 corners.
On edges.
You start with the
So again, the face to face when this is important, right? As opposed to, right?
What you were saying about small pieces, like how small would that piece be?
It depends, but not too small because for practical reason, we are not using the mortar, right? That means in the sand, so it gets loose. Yeah, right. So because of I hit this way, but I need to move this way, right? So in order for me to move this way, this using the principle, you are moving this and the parallel is this way, right? This is where I'm drawing just a 2 perpendicular line. Then I'm moving this way, right? And I'm moving that way, a little bit that way.
That also helps you determine what shape the rocks are.
Makes it a lot more practical. Thank you.
Right? But again, it's after all, there's a ground rule and standard, and it's important to learn that. But once you learn all basics, you don't need to do all, or you can do other things. But knowing the basic is important part, right?
Knowing the rules so you know how to break it correctly.
Yeah. But that's a really good approach, though. It works, actually. I can see I can use that, right? Yeah. One thing I might recommend is because avoid this little gap, so I might
Bring it out.
actually exclude this one,
Yeah. Yep.
right? So
Too busy?
This one's okay though.
Walking up a big tree. We're walking around the garden to get to this point eventually.
I will not connect this.
Connect. Oh, meaning.
Not the same destination in two different paths,
Oh.
right?
Okay.
So I will break,
You would break there.
right? This will be another destination of some sort, right? Or maybe stone lantern, something, right? So it's next to and the proximity, but you are not closing the roof, right? Right. So the water basin, probably it's a good idea to have some sort of backdrop, right? Where the rocks, maybe some boulders behind, so that the basin sits against something very stable, right? And maybe then you using the basin under a tree canopy will be really nice things, right? Just think about and add those things. And adding the boulders behind or on the side is very practical the common things we do. Again, it's a object, right? So it's nice to have some sort of terminus or something to terminate visually or make that presence stable by having some element.